Okay, here we go. Ah, I don't feel like I've got my stuff together really, but I do. So I'm excited to have class with you. Cannot believe everybody is ending. So I hope you do have a tea light or a candle for tonight because I will want to do some magic. Thanks. That's perfect. And I'm just going to take a quick swig and we're going to get started. I drink like an Alberta girl. Okay. Oh, those bubbles. Diet Pepsi is really an addiction to me. Okay, moving my keyboard. So welcome. Before we get started, I wanted to talk a little bit because we are coming to the end of the class. We have some of you initiating on the 31st, and we have some of you initiating winter solstice. So I'm really excited. But I did want to talk about how I am changing things because we're coming to an end of a year and a day, and I'm kind of changing the format. So I don't do classes every month. Instead, this group, because everyone has done the class, I want to still meet up and do either spell work or talk about the magic, but mainly get together and start doing things, maybe work on things that you can offer others as a high priestess, and mini workshops or, that sort of thing. So now that you're finishing, and even though you don't have payments, I still do want to keep this active. We are an amazing community, and I'm really excited about 2023 because I feel like all of you are going to be able to create things and make things more active, either personally or business-wise or both, right? So that's kind of my goal. So if you don't want to come in on the 20th, you don't have to. I will announce what I will be doing in case you need to have things like a candle or something else. But yeah, that's kind of my plan, is move this more into our community, our circle together, and help you with whatever it is that you're creating as well. So that's the goal. You're also going to be receiving a guidebook of what we've taught, what you've learned, and certain things that you'll be able to use because of this class. So an outline. So there's going to be a booklet for you that is being put together. So that's coming up soon. You'll get that at your initiation. Actually, it'll be December. So I know some of you, Sal, and I'm sorry you have to wait till December. It's not ready yet. But I am excited to get more into monthly magic with all of us that are ready to roll. So a little change format, but more personal for us, our life, what we're creating. Okay. If anyone is taking the class through the next year and joining in, they're mainly going to do the class on video correspondence. And then of course they'll be able to join in on what we're doing as far as magic or ritual that month. Okay. I also want the high priestesses to be a little more active. So like when we're doing full moons, call in the circle with me. So unmute, get into the habit of unmuting, call in the circle with me. Do the charge of the goddess. Doing the charge of the goddess every month is like such a powerful thing. And you'll know what it feels like. If you do the charge of the goddess every full moon, you will feel you will know what it feels like when she enters you. Okay. Or when she invokes inside of you. Right. So you do want to do that every month. And I invite you and want you and encourage you to join me. If you don't want to have your videos on, you don't have to. But I would unmute, and if you don't want your personal names on, change your Zoom screen name to your magical name or your business name. Okay, so definitely think about doing that for this next year, because I do want you to be more active and creating. I want to be able to, have us more as a community. And, there's people in your area that need your help. And there's maybe people in your area that are looking for you. So I am excited to get you moving. So let's go into this month a little bit. And I know some of you are in some of the other classes, so you may have heard a little bit of this. But October moon is where we honor Mother Earth. And that's what all of the colors are about. As all of the leaves fall, those are her offerings to her. Those are offerings to her from the nature spirits as they go back into their little portals. But this is a month where we become aware of miracles, of creation. How is the power of creation working in your life? And this is every October. The force of creation is with us. And our spiritual energies are actually becoming awakened. And you know what I love about our dark selves, our shadow selves that are awakening through this season is not only is it this world power, right? But it is also earthly power, right? But it is also the things that are really things that we're seeking, right? It's a tech connected to our daytime consciousness and our instincts. So it's really important for us to take a look at the creations in our life. Make sure you are creating things mentally. What are you creating for yourself? What are you creating for your family? What are you creating for your finances? And get yourself into a blissful flow, because this is the month of death and rebirth. And up until the last full moon, things should be dissolving away, and it should have. And now we're coming to a new moon. So we get to start to enjoy a blissful flow. So we want to find our flow. So wherever you're feeling good in life, focus on that. Okay, because there's a merging that's taking place, and this merging and connection is for our highest good. And so this moon and this month is all about focusing on our health and our healing. Okay, the other thing is, this is a month where I like to invoke Hecate, and she is the goddess of crossroads. And we all have a crossroads at our driveway. Or you can use a 4-street crossroad. But this is a month where you do, up until Samhain or on Samhain, put an offering at a crossroads to Hecate. Warm it up in your hands, both hands, hold it in Gasho. Say her name 3 times. And sprinkle it or place it onto the ground, because she is the goddess of the underworld and she helps us see the light in the darkness. And if anything traumatic has happened to us, whether it's abuse or something horrible, she is the goddess to work with. And she is the goddess of not only the underworld, but of this time. To me, she is the key and holds the keys to the universe. So a relationship with her is one that helps us, because she is present in the underworld, the upper world, and the middle earth. All the realms, she is present. So her ability to transition between different realms indicates that she's a very powerful force for change. So what kind of change do you want? Right? We know what kind of change we want for others. And we know the things that we don't want, but we want to make sure that we give an offering to Hecate and then think about all of the things that you want for yourself to transform. Now, this is an ancient goddess with a life force, as all goddesses and gods. And even in our modern traditions, especially witchcraft, we can emphasize her in our modern role because she is a goddess of transformation. And she can interpret our relationship within our world, the Middle Earth or modern or now, right? But it's all about our personal way right now. It's all about finding your strongest practice. What's the strongest practice? What's the strongest energy right now? So I like to do a ritual to Hecate, and I like to do it during the Samhain ceremony. So it will be part of that. And so those who are being initiated will also be initiated within the wheel of Hecate. So I'm excited that that will take place. And we all are going to be part of that wheel as well, joining in. So I want to do, even though there's a ritual to her, I do want to do an invocation. And I just need to find it. Where's my invocation? Oh, my computer is so full of stuff here. It's crazy. Okay. I'm having a really tough time finding things on this computer now. I almost lost it. I was freaking out one night. Okay. So it's under documents. I know it's under this. And I don't understand why it's not alphabetized. That would make things a little easier for me too. Okay. Really weird. Just had it. There it is. Yes. Oh my God, it's so stressful. I hate not finding things. Okay, there we go. And I'm gonna snip it so that I can post it right away. Because I wanted to post this and I couldn't find it. There we go. Okay. Yes. So let's do this chant. Sorry about that. Oh my gosh. I'm only gonna get worse. I'm aging, so get used to it. Okay, let's get ready. So grab your candle. We're gonna do a chant to Hecate. I like to use white, red, black, purple. It'll be interesting to see what candle. If you don't have one, you can use mine with me. Oh my gosh, I see your shirt. I love it. Stand back up. Let me see that, baby. Oh, it looks amazing. Oh my God, it's huge. Such a nice image. Oh, I'm getting one. Okay, I love it. Okay, so let's do our candle. And hold your candle with your left hand and put your right hand above it or hold it as well. We're going to use both hands. And repeat after me. Hecate, Queen of the Night, Protectress of Witches, Goddess of Crossroads. Quiet is the night, and dark is the next moon. I ask Hecate, the crone, to take her throne. Sleep, sister, sleep. Be not alarmed, for the great goddess keeps you from harm. Quiet is the night, dark is the moon. I ask Hecate the crone to take her throne. Sleep, brother, sleep. Be not alarmed, for the great goddess holds you in her arms. Quiet is the night, dark is the moon. We honor Hecate the throne, who has taken her role as crone. Hecate, crone goddess, keep me whole, and let wisdom and blessings and protection fill my soul. So mote it be. And light her up. Awesome. And you want to take note on oranges, yellows. Wow, look at the stream of light coming. Ooh, you got such a bright yellow. Look at the orange around yours. Look at that. Amazing. And I always look for her. And you'll notice how orange the sunsets and the sunrises are. So take note on what are you noticing more, the sunrise or the sunset? So let's get into our work. So you can have that going while we do our work. So one thing that I love is how this is a very strong spiritual time for us, and the realms are thin. So it is a good time for us to focus on meeting our spirit guides. And some of you may have already met your spirit guides, but this is the month where we do receive new ancestors and guides coming forward. And it's because they want to work their energies into our realm. So they know what we need and they know what we want. And that's why I like to use this time to connect to the spiritual realms. Okay. But for me, connecting to the unseen can be hard to teach. But I have a feeling that a lot of you have been able to connect to the spiritual realms of nature through the summer. And now we're just taking it a little bit further. So when we meet and work with our spirit guides, it is really important for us to go into a relaxed state and even go into a place where you can just go into silence. Okay. Number one, for me personally, whenever I work with spirit, whenever I do a reading, before my reading, I take time. Nobody can enter my room. And I sit in silence. You know, for me, silence is around, I live in silence. So silence can be very loud with me. And it's like some people don't have that because they have big families and kids. My kid's 25 and moved on. So if I do a reading for someone, I take half an hour before it to just chill and take note on what comes to me. And this is really important because we go into a different state. And so you do want to keep working on going into alpha state, getting into a relaxed state. And some of you may do meditations before you do readings, right? You could turn on a YouTube video meditation or music to get you into that level. But this pathway of connecting to spirit does have to come when we're in a relaxed state. And it also has to come when we're developing a psychic link. And those psychic links have to be made for specific purposes. So we need to understand the spiritual realm and also learn how to perceive things from the unseen. Okay? Like, it blows me away that I could sit in a room with people and I can stare at a spirit and nobody else is seeing them. It like totally blows me away at times. I'm like, it's so bright. And I'm like, look. And other times it's so strong, I'm able to project it and show it, and people are able to see it. So you are looking into, you are communicating. Psychic abilities is a superpower. Like, you're communicating, you're listening to things that don't exist in our realm. Every time we listen to the spirit world, every time we channel, our ear is like in there. I always imagine my ear in the spirit world as they're talking to me. So we do want to learn how to perceive the unseen, to feel it. You know, that creepy feel when you come up, right? That creepy feeling. Well, every person has a feel. So what comes up? Okay. And most of the time, spirit comes from behind you. Like, just talking about this stuff, I'm getting cold. So spirit usually comes behind. The only time it comes up before you is if it's way ahead or you're driving on a road. Okay. Ugh. I don't like driving at night. But you do want to focus this month on perceiving the unseen. Feel them out. Where's your most powerful room in your house? Right? And beginning to approach the spiritual realm, channeling techniques and meeting your spirit guide and guardian angels, as well as staying connected to the nature spirits, even though things are dropping and falling, winter spirits are coming forth. Actually, there's lots of nymphs around. Have you seen those little blue fuzzy bugs everywhere? They're actually called fuzzy butts, but they are considered a nymph. So whenever they're around, that's a sign that there's nymphs out, that the elemental spirits are changing, right? As well as honoring our spiritual totems that are coming around. Listening to the sound of nature, we will hear so many spirit totems. You'll hear sounds of things you haven't heard all year. Okay. So understanding the spiritual realm, from ancient times, man has always had the concept of higher spiritual beings. And that's why they pray to connect with them in magic. And every single civilization on earth had their own concept of a great spirit and how to connect to their individual spirit guides, right? So through proper contact with our spirit guides, we can also make contact with loved ones who are also in spirit. but we need to be guided in our activities. And we also have to be inspired. So in order to connect to spirits on the other side, it does have to be inspiring work. You are searching for something, you're seeking for something. You want to know about life or what you should do, or you want to learn about an amazing spiritual power of a spirit, animal, plant, whatever. But connecting to spirit is always about bringing medicine into our lives, whether it's a vibration, words of wisdom, an image, whatever, a message. And this is possible. But we do need to take steps beyond the physical world, and we have to awaken a new understanding. First, we have to eliminate our fears. One of the biggest things people are scared of is what is it they're going to see? And when we're connecting to the spirits and the guiding forces around us, we're not going to see anything ugly. We will see ugly spirits if we're, messing around and going to haunted places. We could see anything. But when we are in our place of solitude, our silence, and we want to connect to the spirit world, we're doing it for an awakening and an empowerment. Why are you contacting that spirit? Because you want them to give you a message. That's empowering. Whoa, I feel a lot of, I was like, wow, I feel a lot of heat. It's my candle. Duh. Okay. Airhead today. So we do want to do that. So nothing in the spirit world can harm you. Okay. As long as you remain in control. You're the master of your destiny, and you're the master of what you will allow yourself to see or not. As soon as I start to feel an intimidation, I'll either speak out magical words of protection, or I'll clearly say, fuck off. And that's actually where I learned how to say it so well, okay, is getting freaked out by stuff. Right? And one thing that I learned when it came to the spirit world, especially our Middle Earth spirit world, our realm spirit world is the craziest of them all. What was I going to say? What was it? Oh, man, come on. It has to come back. I know I was going to say something important. I'll keep going on. Well, we are the destiny, and we can say, I don't like the way it feels. Stop it. Fuck off. And you will gain control. I can't remember what I was going to say, but I learned something off of that. Either way, it'll come. So spirit beings, the ones that are around us, are as interested in forming relationships with us as we are with them. And they can take many forms to produce this function of creating with us. They got to find the way too. And how do they do that? They provide us insight. They speak to us through our intuition. The more you listen to your good guidance, the easier it will be to listen to the spirit world. Our creativity, anything that we create, comes from the spirit world. If you got an idea and you put it out there, it's the spirit world. Like, I know every idea that I do in my life, it's like a pop in, and it's like, okay, I go and do it, and then I get to watch what happens from it. And sometimes I'm like, no freaking way I'm doing that. That's going to drain me. No, I don't want to do it. And then it floats off into the air and somebody else gets that idea. But grab the good ones as they come, right? And we all know what it's like to miss those opportunities. And that is the spirit world. They give us the concepts of things to create. And if we do that, the contact with our spirit guides will also help make contact with loved ones who are also in the spirit world. And that's one of the purposes of our spirit guide. Our spirit guide, everybody thinks, is just this guide that is meant to guide us in our life. But really, our spirit guides are the ones that are meant to give us proper contact with our spirit, with our spiritual side, with the family members that we live. Yes, they're going to guide us in all of our activities, but they give us the spiritual power of the spirit world, the animal, the plant world, and how to bring this medicine or this awareness into our lives. So let's take this a little bit further. So it is possible for us to take certain steps to awaken a new understanding. Okay, so number one, nothing is going to harm you. Okay, if you go somewhere that's outside of your bubble, yeah, you might experience something creepy, but if you're in your bubble and you know what your bubble looks like, you can trust the spirits around you. Okay. Spirits are interested in bringing us creativity, and information is important. They want to give us information that will stay with us. And they want to let us know we're never alone in this world. We're never alone. There's not 1 second that we are not without spirit. So we can benefit contact with the spirit world. And many people do it without even realizing it. Sometimes it's unnoticed assistance that comes through our life. But the more we become aware of it, the stronger their spiritual assistance comes. So to help you become more spiritually aware, think of the spirit world as having different levels. Okay. So tonight we're going to talk about 7 levels. And each level has its own unique life form. And we have to access these higher beings. And the purpose of tonight is to help you link in with them. So these are the 7 levels. The first level is divine, okay? Great Spirit, who is referred to as God or the goddess, right? And then there's the monadic, okay? The great planetary spirits. Okay, so we have the divine, God and goddess, great spirit, whatever, universe, whatever you want to call it. Then we have the great planetary spirits. And these are monads, meaning there is a philosophy of their fundamental essence. There is a oneness of a supreme entity that we know as the universe. Okay. The next one are the Divic spirits and masters. And this Divic spirits and masters, I like to refer them as atmospheric. Okay. So these spirits, the atmospheric ones, actually dwell in our atmosphere. So, you know, when you go into that west, it feels wet and humid. Whenever I feel wet and humid and my hair is all frizzy, I know I can do water magic, and I know that I can connect to these Divic masters. The next one is, you may have heard, is the Buddhic state or the intuitive state. And this is actually where the power of avatars come from. And you've heard of the Avatar. I think there's a cartoon or a movie, I don't know. But these energies and spirits are believed to be reincarnations returned to fight evil. So when we do go into a Buddhic or intuitive state, we are in a place to fight something. When I give messages, I know that my messages are to enlighten, right? The power of the goddess, to lighten, to bring lightness from the dark, guidance from the dark. The other thing about these reincarnated energies, the avatars, can also be animal or human form. So sometimes we have strange acquaintances of animals or strangers we meet. That would be one of these spirit realms. And highly skilled people or well-trained people can communicate with these spirits through their intuition. So intuitive abilities, when we are able to work all of our intuitive abilities, we do become Buddhic. We can communicate with spirit, whether that spirit is in our earth plane or somewhere else. Then there's the archangels. And we've all heard of the archangels, but the archangels are also the angels that influence our mental state. Think about that. So when we call in, think about all of the religions that believe in archangels. When they call in those archangels, they're praying to release something from their mind, something that is a torment. Archangels will change our mental state. They can lift our consciousness. Now, how do we connect to the archangels? Well, through through the elements of earth, air, fire, water, right? Each one of those are the gateway and connection to the underworld and the elements. And then we have the regular angels. For the regular angels and great divas work together. And these are spirits that influence our astral state, the astral realm. So if we want to enter the astral realm, there are certain divas and angels. Our birthday angels would help us, grant us to go into the astral realm. Now, we have all talked about the nature spirits and the elementals, and we all love them. But one of the main reasons why they are so powerful is because they are actually the spirits of our physical realm. They're the etheric intelligence or etheric intelligence, however you say it. And so nature spirits and elementals are actually the spirit world in our physical realm. We're not physical. We're not spiritual. Yeah, we're spiritual, but we're also physical. For the true spiritual realm within the Middle Earth is the nature spirit and elementals realm. And these beings actually work through the planes. They represent the 7 planes of existence and the great light beings that operate from them. Okay, light beings meaning life force. And as we were once a spiritual being, when we are a spiritual being, we're a light and a life force. We're no longer this, right? Okay. When we are spiritual, when we're incarnated into our earth form, our spiritual essence builds up, right? We become what we're manifesting. And these 7 energy realms are actually all around us all the time. And they're aligned with the development of us. And actually, this connection to these 7 realms of spirit world were developed with us while we were a fetus through pregnancy. So when we were born with spirit already within us. And some people believe spirit comes in when the face is coming down the birth channel, right? Some people believe the spirit is in the baby while it's growing. Some people believe that it's the first light when the baby comes in. What do you believe? I find that quite interesting. I always believe that the spirit comes through when the face is rubbing down the canal. But that's my theory. Okay. So that is actually where we are born with spirit. We're already born with spirit within us. And we have already maintained our link with the spirit world. And that link actually runs pure and unnatural to the ages of 5 and 7. And then all of a sudden, peer pressure, and we're a hassle. We're no longer getting carried all the time. Now it's get out of my way. Okay. So this energy does actually begin to fade, and it goes into the back of our memory. And many children between the ages of 5 and 8 will go through a period where all of a sudden they wake up and it's like they have no memory. It happened to my son. It happened, well, it didn't happen to me, but it did happen to a lot. I've heard of that as being something that's quite common. It's crossed my path. And that's because all of a sudden, all of this alignment fades to the back of our memory. So we no longer have our direct link that's open. And so what do we have to do now? Now we have to connect and learn to connect to our spirit guide. It's all about relearning and how to make your connections and reopen those connections. But these links are already there and they've already been around us. So when we go into perceiving the unseen world, the types of spirit guides we encounter may be as varied as the type of humans and other life forms we encounter. When connecting to these beings, we will find human and non-human beings coming through to us. And you may wonder why. If our spirit guide can easily assist us in everything, why can't we see them? Why aren't they more noticeable? And the answer is that's because we need to explore the psychic realms so that we can find them more noticeable. See, I believe in seeing more with my eyes open than when people meditate and get images with their eyes closed. It drives me nuts. It's like, why do I want to do that when I see everything and my eyes are open? I can see into different realms with my eyes open. It's like image, 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 right? So we do want to explore our psychic realms and our pathways and the ways we link in the spiritual realms are clairvoyancy. We see the spirits. Clairsentient, we receive aromas from the spirit. Clairaudient, we hear the spirit. And sometimes it's like, well, how do I know? Ask them. They're around you. Say, I want to connect with you. What psychic pathway is my connection to you? And you will perceive. Maybe you perceive one of the links, or maybe you perceive all 3 of those psychic channels, depending on how your guides want to work with you. But your earliest psychic links actually came to you as a child. But because the adults around us dismissed us and we had to deal with life and get rid of our imaginary friends or our childhood fantasies, we actually did close down our perceptive ability. And many of us are drawn to reopening that right now. And now it's time to return and reopen those links. So you may also get a sense of feel where you mentally feel something. Have you ever mentally felt something? Okay, my intuition mentally feels everything. You can ask my husband, it drives him crazy. One of the things he hates is that he can't finish a sentence without me finishing it. And it's like, I'm sorry, I can't help it. Right? Where I have to learn to shut up and let him say what he wants, even though I already know it. Right? So we do have to balance those things out sometimes, our spiritual world and our physical world. So you may have had that sense where you mentally feel that there's something around you. Take it further this month. Another reason why we don't readily perceive our links is that our spirit guides may not always be with us. Sometimes they're working on things or they're establishing specific things that we're asking for, but they do come and play. They're not like zombies that just stand there all creepy, right? Our spiritual butler, okay? They're doing shit for us, okay? And when we're asleep and we're not dreaming, that's when I know shit's getting done. I love the blackout dreams because I know I don't have to do a thing. If I have a blackout dream, my spirit is doing its thing, okay? If you remember stuff, you're meant to bring things into this realm. And there's usually a spirit working with you. So I think I got off. So I was talking about feeling. And we also need to establish sometimes specific times. I remember when I was developing my intuition, you don't even understand how many exercises I did. I was trying to create a psychic development course, and it was the first class I really ever created. And it was all back when I started this stuff, it was all about psychic sciences. It was super cool. So we do want to work at developing our pathways. Okay. Establish specific times. And for me, morning or night is when I like to take my time to connect to spirit. And the other thing is, our degree of perception will vary depending on the energies that are happening in our life. It also will vary from person to person and the amount of persistence you have to establish in your life. So if you're like driving crazy nonstop all day long, it might take you a little more to get into that place. And that's when you need to that's when you need to ask for help. That's when you can say, do you see how crazy my life is right now? I can't connect with you. Please, spirit guide, take care of some of this with me. Show me how to get it done so I can have my sacred space. And spirit will start a creative process, but it will involve learning how to tap into the spirit world and tapping into your subconscious mind, your higher self, right? And tapping into our higher self always has a connection to the spirit world. That's our higher self is our all-seeing eye. It is the creative force that can help process our spiritual information and connection in new ways. So I do want you to connect with that. So take time to meditate. If you have trouble connecting to spirit, make sure you do it every day for a week at the same time. Okay. Or ask spirit, when is it that I should connect with you? Give me a 20-minute space. And let spirit show you the 20-minute space. Okay. And as you do that, when you sit down, even if it's for a smoke, and that's your time, you will actually start to go into an altered state of consciousness because your higher self is going to recognize that you are opening the doors and you're ready for spiritual awareness. And that method alone is huge because when you do that, it's almost like having a double brain. There's two ways of knowing that will take place. There's also different characteristics of the two hemispheres that are going to come into your altered state of consciousness for spiritual contact. And these spirits are gatherers of the information you want. So our dormant left brain is the spirit that will speak to us. It analyzes, it brings us plans, it verbalizes, it draws conclusions, right? It put things in order. That's what it does. It gives us an orderly approach to life, where the right brain activity is our second way of knowing. We see things that seem imaginary, existing only in the mind's eye. So our right brain is our intuition, or it remembers things that may be real to us. Okay? But if you see how these two existences are connected to the spirit world and space, and how these parts go together to make a whole, we can actually understand more symbols, more synchronicities, more messages, more dreams, because our brains are working together. So we have to tell our left brain and our working daily brain, we're seeking bliss, because it won't. It's only seeking its instinctual form, its instinctual motivation. So you want to train to see the bliss every day. Every single day, the universe gives me a message. And sometimes I share it, and sometimes it's like, oh, you want me to do what? Okay. Right? But every single day, we receive a message from spirit. And as we do this, our greatest asset will be our mind, our imagination, our intuition. And through this link, our future and our connection to the spirit guides starts to manifest. And that's how we co-create. So it's quite a very powerful connection that we have to the spirit realm. And even though I'm talking about all of this, all of these connections to the spirit realm have already been connected to you. So if you are serious about connecting to the spirit guides, we do want to approach it with common sense in order to succeed. We got to break the fear, and we have to break any hindrance of our connection. Okay? We must really only use the power for ourselves at first. Spirit guide is only interested in helping you. And once your spirit guides know that you're listening to them to help your life, that's when you'll be able to get a lot more information for others. Okay? So we want to use this for only ourselves right now. And of course, yourself is everything you care about in your heart, and everything that's in your mind, and everything in your body. Okay? But we don't want to start just delving into the spirit world for monetary gain. Okay? Because it will invoke other energies. So this is about your power and your encounter to your life's mysteries, and creating a path that will remain connected and humble, and for you to enjoy, and that can give you accurate information. Because as soon as our ego tries to connect to the spirit world, our information can become inaccurate, because the ego is connected to the underworld. Okay, so two different realms, right? So our physical life focus, our healing, that's the most important. So whenever something's not going right, chaos is coming up, stay grounded and centered and focus on something for yourself. And we can use our spiritual guides to enhance whatever it is. Okay. We don't want to use our spirit guides to escape the things in our life. We want them enhanced and changed in transformation. If you hate it, we can transform it, hopefully. At least we can try, right? So you do want to learn how to perform something that is rhythmic too. I know we're almost done here. I'm like 2 minutes away. So you want to learn something that is rhythmic, whether that is a music or a drumming or breathing. Okay. So try to do something that is ritualistic and do that for a count of 4. So drum 1, 2, 3, 4, and do that. So if you can create something like that where you just breathe and do a 4-second something or other, maybe it's a rattle, maybe it's a drum, maybe it's just listening to music or humming or chanting, that will also help you to raise your vibration to receive visualizations. Okay, so rhythmic vibration will open your clairvoyance. So you want to keep your focus on the spiritual. And if it's all about the future, you can ask about things that can do with your future. And if you need your visualization isn't happening, your clairvoyance isn't happening, you're not focusing on your future enough, or you need more vibration. You need to raise your vibration. And we all know you can go to YouTube and get a raise your vibration music, 570 hertz or whatever you want. Nowadays we can pick and choose it, but be careful. Some of that stuff I don't trust. So keep your focus on the spiritual and see yourself as being the goddess you want to be, the life you want to live. Okay. Now, traditionally, it is important for you to give an offering. So make sure you give offerings at least once a week to the spirit world right now, up until Christmas. I always leave a bite of everything on my plate. It keeps my form and the universe. I truly believe that. If I don't give the my offering some of my food, I feel like I'll get fat. So I always give them a little bit of everything I eat, and it keeps me thin. It works for me. Well, I'm not thin, but you know what I mean. It keeps me where I am at. Okay. So perform visualization exercises on the things that you want to raise your vibration, right? See yourself as what you want. Give the physical world offerings through this month, and make sure you're drinking lots of water. Water is going to keep us spiritual through this time. You may find that you're getting more dehydrated than usual. That means you need to drink more water. Water, if you're getting dehydrated, water is cleansing you. It needs to cleanse you. You need more. So drink lots of water. Okay. So the last thing I'm going to say is have conversations with your guides. Go for a walk. And when you go for a walk, ask some questions, have a conversation. Mentally, you can say it out loud. I just think in my head. But walking through a forest or sitting by the forest will also help you get into a place where you can channel and connect to the spirit realm. So try a walk in the forest, ask some questions, connect, call them forth. Any spirit that you want to connect with, west, face west, say their name or think their name 3 times, breathe, and start talking and see what happens. Okay. And you may find afterwards, you may find that you were actually channeling or in a light trance, but your psychic powers will take off for you. So I'm going to leave you with that. Have fun with the spirit world, and I can't wait to see you next month. Take care. I'll let you go. Bye-bye. Oh, I forgot to pull a card. Let me pull our cards. Brett. Oh, I want to pull a card for us before we go, but I don't have one. I don't know if my cards. Oh, yes, there is. Okay, well, spirit guide is what we're talking about. So let's see. I'm going to do one for you two here. So let's do Melissa. Spirit guide message for Melissa. The power of nature makes perceptions infinite. And I know you're just cut out, but we're just talking about going for a walk and having a conversation with your spirit guide in the forest. Try that as a technique and see what happens or how nature responds. And Lorraine, let's see what you get. Change something about yourself and be excited. So there is change around you. I got goosebumps on that. And all the replayers, those who have to listen to this later, change something about yourself today. So everyone, enjoy this month. I hope I see you at Samhain this weekend. By this weekend, you are going to get certificates. You're also going to get, for those who are getting initiated at Samhain, you're also going to get your package, what to say during initiation, all that good stuff. Okay, so I'm really excited about you. The ceremony is going to be about 30 minutes, so it's not very long. I put it at 8:30 and I was surprised because like I should have done it at 9, but I don't think I can change it yet. I think it's, well, do you think it's too late to change 9? I don't know. I have it for 8:39. So we'll get it done and I can't wait. I'm so proud of you. Enjoy, connect, believe in yourselves, get your vision. What do you want to do? And I'll see you next month. Take care. Bye-bye.